Well,
How you doing, everybody? This is Dennis Michelson. Welcome to the science of fantasy football. Why the science of fantasy football? Well, you get a meteorologist and a biologist together. They're going to use their past knowledge of science, which is actually just continuing knowledge of science. You're never a former scientist, folks. But they're going to use that to guide them to the right answers in fantasy football, because when you apply the scientific method to fantasy football, it simply means you're not going to use statistics in a fraudulent way. And joining me as does each and every week, and you hear him also over on the sports affiliation on the matchup lab. He is the fantasy professor. He's a real professor. Hey, retired now, which means that he taught for so long that he got sick of students and decided that he needed a
okay,
break. It is John
okay,
Bush.
uh,
John, the
okay.
finals of fantasy football this weekend. And boy, oh boy, Thursday games, Saturday games, Sunday games, and a Monday night football game with injury concerns and everything else. It just adds a little bit of spice to the old fantasy football gumbo this week.
Yeah, I got plenty of Christmas games, Dennis. Jared Goff and Gibbs.
Ooh,
Whew,
ooh.
I'm behind in a couple of finals because of those situations. It was
Oof.
CeeDee Lamb could have done better for me. It just it wasn't what and Javonte Williams got hurt, and it just didn't go the way I needed. I needed it. So I'm behind on more. It seems like I'm in a bind, and I don't remember being in such a bind last year. So that fills me with dread as to how many finals I actually will win this year. It's funny how it all can come down to a game or two. But that's the way it looks right now. I'm a little depressed, but I got to jump back out and hit the final push, Dennis. I can't let it get me down too much, but I'm in the hole in a couple for sure because of Christmas games.
And on the flip side, Dak got us off to a good start at
Yes.
quarterback. That was nice. I had to make the decision in one league between Dak or Bo Nix. Worked out okay. Both had good games. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw either guy's game away, but certainly Dak had more points in any format that you want to score. So uh, made the right decision there. RJ Harvey paid off for me in a few leagues. Getting 14 PPR points from the Sun God is okay. It's not the windfall that you wanted, but it's okay. Even Kittle, or I'm sorry, even Kelsey in the tight end premium got you a decent score. It wasn't great, but it was better than the kick in the pants. And Worthy, of course, was benched. Didn't play much of Pacheco either or Hunt, knowing that it was going to be lean. I even benched one of my last remaining Justin Jefferson share this weekend. Um, that that really is a nerve-wracking thing when you do that, but he underperformed as expected. I mean, what a bizarre game that was with Minnesota and Detroit. Minnesota with a net passing of 3 yards on the day when you subtract the sack yardage from the passing total, and won the game by 13 points. Crazy.
Yeah,
Six,
that was
six,
crazy, Dennis.
six turnovers
Yeah.
for Detroit. That's not something you can forecast. But one thing you can forecast is, and we talked a bit about this on Wednesday, if you do not have Tongass on your roster, I don't know how you can play Kittle with any confidence this weekend. With his game on Monday night and him still listed as questionable.
Well, that's going to put a bind in some people. I went ahead and drafted Tongass where I could just to put him on my bench. You know, uh, most likely I will not be able to use him because everybody will probably be played out, but I did it more as a blocking concept than anything else. At this point, I'm still trying to figure out. I've got in one live team, Dennis, I've got Rivers is my starting quarterback. I mean, who?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking, what's going on here? And it's very strange that way that I'm in such a bind, and it's hard to figure that out. But yeah, Rivers. I was trying to find the team here. I was just going to tell you what my choices are. Let's see here, Rivers. Yeah, I've got Phil Rivers or I've got Tyler Huntley.
Oh,
I
oh,
could. Russell Wilson is out there, and that's about it. So I was thinking, well, they're going to sit Dart and play Wilson. And I said, no, they wouldn't
oh,
do that.
no, no, God, they better not do that.
Yeah, so I can't do that. I'm in a bind. I don't know who else is even out there better than Tyler Huntley or Rivers. I'm looking, Dennis. Uh,
Yeah, and that
and
Jacksonville,
the answer should have been Malik Willis, but I can't grab him.
yeah.
I can play Ewers, Brady
Ugh.
Cook. That's it. I could pick up one of
Yeah.
those
And
versus
yeah,
Rivers.
yeah.
Anything there?
I might roll the dice
Yeah,
with Green Bay having some injuries.
yeah.
I might roll the dice with Huntley because
Well, that's
Jacksonville's
why I got
defense
him.
scares me. Jacksonville's defense scares me, and that's who Indy's going against. Um, as far as the Jets are going against New England, talk about a
Yeah,
defense that also scares me.
yeah. Ewers
Um,
against Tampa Bay.
ugh, man, I don't know if I could trust Ewers against anybody.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
he just
okay.
he only had
Yeah,
nine
I'm in a
nine
bind.
points 9 points last week. I have a hard
Yeah.
time
But Rivers
endorsing that.
Rivers got you 20,
Yes, yes.
and
River,
so he's in my thing now. He's in my and
and here's the thing.
yeah,
Yes, Jacksonville's defense is good.
yeah,
Indy's going to be probably playing from behind
yeah,
in that game.
right.
The indoors.
Yeah.
So, at home indoors, yeah, Rivers didn't look bad.
At this
I
point,
might
if I
go with
could get
Rivers.
15 points, I think I would take it and run with it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to change my
Here's the
mind there.
rest of the team. I've had Gibbs, sad. I
Oh,
have Travis Etienne, AJ Brown, Chris Olave, T. Higgins. I have AJ Barner, and I do have this last. I have the Saints as a defense, uh, and I have Kobe Parkinson in my flex, which plays Monday night. I went ahead and grabbed Tongass. So theoretically, if Kittle is out, I could trade out Kobe for Tongass to try to swing
oh,
for the fences.
wow.
Or I can ride Kobe and I'll probably get about 8 to 10. But Tongass went has had some good games without Kittle.
Yes. Yeah. And you're going to
So
be,
there's, I mean, when I named the rest of them, ETN, AJ Brown, a lot, Higgins. I mean, it, I'm not just down and out having Rivers,
no,
but
Olave is questionable, but he's played through that questionable tag a
yeah,
couple of times this year. So
AJ
I'm not worried
Brown,
about him. AJ Brown is, he's been doing well
yeah.
lately. So you
Higgins
got to
has
like
an
that one.
opportunity, yeah.
Higgins should have a game.
Barner has
Yeah.
been active.
Barner's been a good solid guy, especially in tight end premium. He's
Yeah.
getting enough
I
catches,
got
enough
17
looks.
points from him last week.
Yeah. Yeah. All of these guys that you're mentioning are all certainly viable. Um,
And I
y- y-
avoided playing Monty. So that was kind of by not playing him, I earned points.
yes, good job there.
Yeah.
Here's a added wrinkle to
Yeah.
the situation.
Yeah.
The Cincinnati game will be played in a light rain with some wind. The Buffalo game, believe it or not, will be a rain and wind issue, not a snow issue in December. Hard to
Yeah.
believe. And not as worried about Tennessee um, as I am for Cincinnati. That game will be back Cleveland. I'm worried about that game being very windy and wet. And again, wet is the key, not snow.
Just wet.
It's crazy. There could be some showers in both Tennessee and Carolina for those games,
Uh,
but less wind. So I'm not
uh,
too worried about getting some spotty showers.
uh,
And New York's going to be getting another batch of precipitation coming their way. Probably will get in there after the game is over for that Jets game, and
right.
it so I don't think that'll be an issue, and the wind shouldn't be a big problem on the backside of that storm that went through this morning. So
Right.
yeah, that's kind of where we are with weather. We've got quite a few weather related issues. Thankfully, the weather is cleared out of the West Coast. Man, earlier in the week, if we had been playing in San Francisco, for that San Francisco game in the Bay Area, whew, it was nasty. But all of that has moved out of the area. So no worries for that Chicago San Francisco game, which should be an interesting one that we'll be talking about on the matchup lab because that's a pretty
Yeah.
high scoring
Right.
game. So why don't we take a look
Yeah, I
at
was about to
the
say,
Vegas data?
any of your finals that we need to, that's the only one that I thought I needed to kind of tease out was
Yeah,
Huntley versus Rivers. And I'm kind of sticking with Rivers based on,
well, thanks to our discussion on Wednesday,
mhm,
I am in a situation where if I lose Olave
mhm,
for injury, I do have Jaden Higgins that
mhm,
I can bring off the bench, so I'm okay with that.
right.
If I lose Dylan Sampson, I have Raheem Sanders.
Yeah,
So that team is pretty set.
good. Okay.
All of my
So
teams are thanks to Wednesday's discussion. Most of my teams are in good shape.
good.
I did roll out Pacheco because of all the injuries, and that didn't work. So
Mhm,
I'm a little bit of a bind with that team. But of course, I did get some good points from the other guys in the lineup. So I should be
good.
all of my teams. I'm in contention here. I did have the Gibbs issue,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So that one hurt as far as that goes. Um, but I've got other good players. I mean, I got enough out of Kelsey to be okay with that. That team with Kelsey and Gibbs also had Prescott, and my opponent um, had Goff. So I got
Wow.
rewarded there. He had Goff and Ferguson.
Wow.
So I
Well,
beat him.
Ferguson, I had him in a couple
He had
leagues. He
8.
didn't do
Yeah,
too bad.
he did okay, but I had him covered with Kelsey because
Yeah.
Kelsey had 11 points in tight end in FPPC scoring
Right.
versus the 8. he did get that lucky touchdown with Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
That was a 12-point play, and he got 12.5 points from
Yeah.
him. So that could have been actually got a 12.5 points on that one play. But I should have him covered there. So I think between the fact I picked up 16 points on his quarterback, I should be okay.
Yeah.
My other wide receivers that I have on that team are McMillan
Hmm.
and McConkey, and I really don't foresee taking either one of those guys out. I do have Tongus on the bench, but I and so I could go for the gamble
Yeah.
and play that, but I think I'll stick with having both Woody Marks and Kyron Williams and Travis Etienne in the lineup at running back and flex. So I think I'm okay in those four spots. I should
Yeah.
be competitive. I've got the Giants as the defense, so should do well there. And I've got the Rams kicker indoors on Monday Night Football. So uh, along with Kyron Williams. So I'll have a chance on Monday night to pull out a big victory. But all of those teams are within plus or minus 5 points right now on the projection. So
That's
should be
good.
doing pretty
I
good.
actually hadn't even looked at the projections yet. I just been
Yeah.
focusing on my team. Good, good. Okay, you want to pick a couple to go, and then we'll come back with the matchup lab?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's pop up that old Vegas data here. Let's avoid the Saturday games since
Okay.
we're going to be taping here and we want people will probably be listening tomorrow morning more than this afternoon and evening
Okay. Okay.
with
I got
the
them in
3:30
yellow
starts.
and
Yeah.
showed the Thursday in blue, so they're already done.
Yeah. So our two uh our two squirrely games for the matchup lab will be Cleveland and Pittsburgh at a 34. Ugh.
Yeah.
Glad I don't have many guys to play from those
And we
teams.
could
So
probably wait for New Orleans, Tennessee.
that
Could
looks
be,
like the others. That could be our other squirrel game.
yeah.
And
And
so let's do
Cincinnati,
those.
Arizona, and Frisco,
Yeah.
Chicago are probably the better ones.
Yeah. So let's look at a game that's toward the top end here. Let's look
Mhm.
at Jacksonville and Indianapolis because there will be some decision making for me in a few leagues from those
Okay,
players as well.
so Jacksonville, this is the power rankings, is fourth best.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's good. Uh, and who are they playing? I forgot.
Indianapolis, right in the middle.
Indiana, huh? Yeah, right
Right
in
in
the
the
middle.
middle.
So
Yep.
there's something there. I'll answer that, but uh, okay. So number 12 here. Or this Jacksonville. Okay. 30 versus 16 for Indianapolis. So
Wow.
they're saying,
Wow.
yeah, almost doubling up. -7 spread, so a touchdown, 47 and a half. So they're thinking a lot of points, but most of them are from Jacksonville. I I'm not 100% locked in on that. Indianapolis has been tougher. If you look at the DAPS, really tough on rushing. So Taylor is going to have to do what he has to do. The tight end actually has, and the defense are actually streamable, Dennis. I thought that was interesting. Nothing is scaring me so much with Rivers. I'm glad it's not tough. But the rushing concerns me, and I think
Uh,
for Indy to be competitive, they need Taylor. And
yes.
I
That's trouble.
that worries me. Jacksonville pretty much play them all. I'm not worried about that. Indy is pretty balanced. They rush a little more. 2%. Pat's a little less, 5% less, but nothing dramatic. Jacksonville passes more on the road and rushes less, and they are improving. So I think Jacksonville is going to be passing. I think they've been some good wide receiver action lately, Dennis. I think it's been Myers has been pretty good, Thomas, and I've even got Parker Washington on the bench. May flip him in before it's said and done. Maybe trying to collect on some of this bounty here because he did pretty good last week. So,
Oh yeah.
and Benton Strange did pretty good, but nothing's just dramatically on my scoring here that they're the best is Lawrence and ETN, and but the other ones are below 70, so it's not just got to play them, but it is intriguing but the DAP say play all the Jacksonville you want. Even some of the deeper flex ones might be an option for you.
And Brenton Strange at tight end might be a good value in this
I
game.
think he could, Dennis. I really do. And in fact, if you could figure out the right tight end, you could do a in-game tight end parlay there. I don't know if Vegas gives you extra points for staying in game, but you might figure out something there on a parlay. But he might be definitely part of your tight end parlay this week for a
Yeah,
touchdown.
yeah. Tyler Warren has dropped off the last 3 weeks
Is he out or is he
as they've
playing?
had quarterback. No, he's playing. So,
Well, it could be a surprise.
but he's got a good matchup here, which is something he hasn't had the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see him finish strong here with a decent game.
Yeah.
Certainly has the matchup. The other thing that Jacksonville has been given up occasionally is some long balls. So maybe Alec Pierce is a guy that if you
Mm-hmm.
need that desperation flex, he's scored some pretty good
Right.
weeks. 3 out of the last 4 weeks, he's been over
Yeah.
13 points and hit
Yeah.
big last week. So
Yeah.
again, not a guy you want to be relying on, especially with Phillip Rivers, but
Yeah.
he might try to get you a decent one there. Um, looking at this, it's hard to pick against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I don't like that spread though. I think this could be a field goal game. This could be a tighter game than what we're seeing, and I like that Jacksonville kicker here
Oh yeah.
indoors as well. So I think this could be a little bit closer. Boy, that 47.5 is tempting
Yeah.
because I wouldn't be surprised to see both teams in the mid to upper 20s, which tells me that I'll take the over and I will take Jacksonville. Let's look at a game from a little bit farther down the list. Let's look at one with a lot of interesting fantasy plays in it and should be a pretty tight game as well. Let's
Buffalo.
look at Philadelphia Buffalo. I'm
Yeah.
intrigued by this game.
Those are household names. Everybody's, there's a lot of fan base there. So I think it's some goodness that we could collect. But when I turn and I look and I see a lot of red jumping back at me,
Yeah.
that's intriguing
Ooh,
for a different reason.
yes.
Buffalo 23,
Yes.
Philly 19. It's almost a pick 'em, 2 points for Buffalo because they're playing at home, 43. Buffalo, I think James Cook's day. If he
Yes.
can get off and get a touchdown or two, Buffalo can win. But if they bottle up Cook, I think it's going to get tough for Buffalo. Philly could surprise. So it's funny. To me, the fulcrum of the game is James Cook and how you view him and how the data is stacking on him. Because I think Philly, if you look at the depths for the wide receivers and the rushing, It looks like if Hertz can stay alive in the pocket and pass, I think they've got an opportunity to upset. That's how I'm reading this. I wouldn't play any of the D's. The Goddard, I'm worried about. I probably have to play him, Dennis, but I'm not. And if Kincaid or Knox, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm worried about. And of course, pick the Buffalo wide receiver. Good luck.
Oh, I got the perfect
Oh,
Buffalo
you
wide
got the
receiver.
one. Okay. Well,
I
I
got
didn't
the
know
guy.
Dennis had the perfect one. Okay.
I got the guy.
Okay. Dennis has
No,
got the guy. Okay. He'll
yeah,
tell us his guy.
yeah.
Buffalo at home. The efficiency 64 versus Philly 50. To me, that's pretty close. So I'm not seeing an advantage. Buffalo loves home, Dennis. 17% better at home. So Buffalo has an advantage that way. Philly's 7% less at home, away. No, no, they're seven better than that. So that's
Wow.
interesting. So I
Yeah.
don't. However, it's all about the pass in away games, Dennis, and Buffalo's all about the pass, and that's exactly opposite.
Hmm.
So the DAPs for Buffalo are reversed of what Buffalo wants to do, but they're playing into Philly's game. So that's why I think it is Philly. I had a hard time picking. I may have picked Philadelphia in my pick 'em, Dennis. To me, this is a coin flip, and it could be last team with the ball can win.
It could be last team with the ball, but I think there might be less scoring in this one.
Oh, definitely less
Yeah,
scoring.
I think they're going to both be trending to run the ball, which is going to shorten the game and shorten the score. So I like the under in this one. I don't understand why Buffalo is favored other than home field. And I understand they've been playing good at home, but Philadelphia's been playing good on the road. So I look for Philadelphia here.
Who's the player, Dennis?
So the perfect Buffalo wide receiver or tight
Yeah,
end to play in this one is
yeah,
none of them.
no, no,
None of them. If you have to play a Buffalo wide receiver or tight
yeah,
end,
yeah,
you are doomed.
yeah.
If you absolutely positively have to play one, it's Shakir.
Well, my
It's Shakir.
rankings, Dennis, are lean and they're
Oh,
high uncertainty.
yes.
And that's why I just can't pick one. I mean, I got Shakir at 40, so that's about a wide receiver four score. Look at Kincaid and Knox. Part of that is having so much uncertainty about these wide receivers.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
it's tough tight end situations. Look at Cook. He's your RB2-1 potential this week. And Allen, I really like, but he's Cook and Allen are going to win for Buffalo or they'll go down with the ship. And it's an extreme situation this week, Dennis. And I'm just not sure how it's going to play with the
Yeah,
wide receivers. I couldn't
that's a
pick one.
that is a great way to define it as a tough matchup. I'm not excited if I have to play anybody from these teams except for Cook or Barkley because I
See,
even
I've
think,
got to play AJ Brown.
yeah, well, you can't sit him.
No,
You can't sit him, but it's gonna be,
if he got one touch, if he got
if
me
you
12 points,
if
would
you
I
get
be
12
shocked? No.
if you get 12, you're going to have to be okay with that
Yeah.
this week. And boy, Devonta Smith, really don't like him in this situation with that tough matchup. And of course, that'll mean that they'll take AJ Brown out of the game and, with their defense, and
I think
Devonta will break a
Devonta,
big long one.
Dennis, I think you can look at him as to spike or not to spike. I
Yeah.
think in one
I, yeah.
catch,
Oh, he
he
can have
could
one
get
big
you
play.
his days total, a
Yes.
touchdown and maybe six, so 12 points.
Yeah. I think that's an accurate way to look at
So,
him.
or
Yeah.
zero. He could give you a
Oh,
donut or 12
yes,
in
yes.
one play.
And I, with these depths, that's going to be the big risk. Is
Yeah.
it's going to have to be a big play. And we
Yeah.
know that both teams are capable of a big strike.
Yes.
But boy, that is
I'd
what
hate
you're
to I'd
looking at
hate to
here.
rely on that, but
Oh
in
yeah,
some
that
cases I'm going to.
boy, that it could be very, very lean
Yeah, I
this
know.
week.
I
I'm a
know.
little worried about. Let's look at one more game
Okay.
before we head on over to the matchup lab. Let's look at Seattle and Carolina because this is an interesting matchup that I think maybe Carolina's tougher than the odds makers are giving them credit for. I want to see what the data says.
Okay, so here it is. Carolina's at home, Dennis, and the tight end has and streaming the D's. It to me, when I look at this, it looks like a lot of defensive possibilities that could really shake this game up. So I think that
Yes.
adds uncertainty. I think
Yes.
Carolina can take the ball away and surprise. Could be some pick sixes. I mean, if you really wanted an aggressive $1 parlay, pick two pick sixes, one from each game on one team. There you go. I don't know what the odds are on, but for a dollar, that may be worth a play. Seattle, it's all about the run. Trouble is, who's going to do it? Charbonnet in or well, so good dap, bad situation here. Wide receivers have an JSN. I don't think you could shut him up,
No,
but he may
never.
not.
Yep.
He may have a cap on his ceiling, Dennis.
Yes. Yes.
Barner, I'm worried about, but I just don't have any choice to play him. And I do like the kicker. Carolina at home, not very efficient, 15 versus 100. So if you just look at that, it seems like a slam dunk. Vegas thinks it's at least a touchdown spread. I think 28-14 is reasonable, so it could be really scary. But this dap of defense with Carolina is a little bit suspicious. And the fact that the quarterback is tough and I'm very suspicious. I think Carolina may be their defense is better at home, and I think they play better at home. Carolina at home, 39% better, Dennis. So they're very efficient at home. They love to rush, hate to pass. They are improving the last 3 weeks. So I think they're if Chuba or Rico, if they can do a thunder and lightning, that can open up some passing for Tet, and this could be closer than you think, Dennis. And Seattle, though, it's all about the pass with JSN. I just don't think Shahid's going to, if he could run back one, for a touchdown, or he could be zero on the field. It could be really lean for him as well. And the rushing, you don't know who to play. You could get 8 points from either one, 16 if one's hurt, or eight and they'll split it. And so everybody sucks then. So I couldn't play either running backs unless I had no other choice. I
Yeah.
picked Seattle, but I'm not 100% confident.
Yeah. And I'm going to pick Carolina because they've been cranky at home
They've been feisty,
against,
39% better, Dennis.
yeah, against good teams. I mean, the last two home games, they beat the Buccaneers and there was 43 points total scored. And they beat the Rams and there was 59 total points scored. I'm going to take Carolina. I'm going to take the over. I'm not crazy about picking Carolina or Seattle in this one, so I'm going to go with the home team in, but boy, this is a really interesting test for Seattle and also a test for Carolina. They have been cranky at home on that defensive side of the ball, but they've been still giving up points. but they've been scoring well. I mean, this is going to be an interesting game. I think there will be a lot of attention paid on this with the way the standings are right now. I mean, if Seattle loses, they are in jeopardy of being knocked out of that number one seed situation. So that's what they're playing for right now. And if they get beat, then that number one slot falls to either the Bears or the Eagles or the 49ers could step up. This is going to be a crazy finish in the wild, wild west of the NFC. Wow. Seattle, the 49ers, and the Rams, all very, very good teams. That's a tough game. Yeah. And if Carolina could beat the Rams a couple weeks ago, and they beat Tampa last week at home, boy, they could pull off the upset and really throw a monkey wrench into that playoff situation in the NFC. So head on over to the scienceoffantasyfootball.com. The professor will have all this great data for you to check out. You can check out my articles on Leader of the Pack and all 32. If you have to make that last minute addition, make sure to get rid of any of those players that you are not playing this week, that you know won't be in the starting lineup, and protect those guys that are still listed as questionable on your roster heading into the weekend. Head over to the sportsaffiliation.com, of course, and over there you can listen to the Matchup Lab. Like and subscribe to their YouTube channel, though, because you want to be checking out each and every show at the Sports Affiliation. And come on back here next Wednesday. No, there's no Thursday night football, but we'll still be back with another edition of the Science of Fantasy Football.
Get to work, folks.